whatever path you are on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Is one of the books that I'm going to be referring to. Alan and I talked about a month ago about the creative process and our theme for the month and what we were going to speak about. And part of it was we're going to be open to possibly other processes that we may use, other than what we speak about here every Sunday at the Satya Center. And understanding that it wouldn't be normal for you, but I couldn't stray very far from what I know, from what I practice, what I believe, what I trust. Because you could go deep into Buddhism, deep into Hinduism, or the Tao. Anything. There are many different ways to explain or understand our creative process. How we reach enlightenment. Different ways to learn about who we are as individuals and what we do to create our own life, our own experiences. I was raised a Lutheran. That's a path. That is a way. It could be any path. And I believe they're all sacred. You can go to the top of a mountain for years and meditate. That is also a way. But as I often say when I have the opportunity to greet you and welcome you each morning on Sundays, all paths are sacred. Whatever has brought you through that door, whatever has brought you here, whatever spiritual journey you're on, welcome. So these are just my good ideas. Something I discovered a long time ago and was recently reminded of is that my way is not necessarily the only way. My way is not necessarily the best way. My way is my way. It's not even a way you should walk your path. Now, I was reminded of this at a dinner I recently had with some friends down in Salt Lake City, of different ways to approach their life, their experiences. And it was an interesting and fun evening. It was a time shared that is really a wonderful time shared. We didn't spend the evening talking about the traffic, about news, about politics, about things that upset us or made us angry. We talked about things that made a difference to us in our lives. And I heard two other perspectives of how they do it. This creative process. How do we go about creating our life? So I was inspired to share. And I got their permission, but I won't mention names. Now, one person talked about she found her way in the world by not being quiet and meditative, by not stopping and reading and contemplating. She found her way by doing, by actively taking part and participating. She didn't feel that she was motivated or moved by the quiet way. Her way to break from her strong family dynamic was not by waiting, but by taking action. Now me, I'm a meditator. I'm a quiet person. I do affirmations, and I allow the universe to flow. But that's my way. It was not her way. Now her way reminded me of a popular, very Science of Mind New Thought thing. They say, treat, move your feet. Treating is a way of praying, a way of looking for what you desire in life. But the thing about treating is you can treat and pray to win the lottery, but you got to go buy a ticket. It's part of that process. It's part of that movement. So action is very important in all of that, and that path for her. She found her strength in doing. I find my strength in prayer. The other person that was there at the dinner really was still seeking, still looking, finding comfort in his new surroundings and where he was, wherever they happened to be, because he had stepped away from a very conventional background and was a little bit lost. He didn't have his old support group any longer, that no longer supported him. They did not understand where he was headed. Yet his new path felt good. His new path was where he wanted to be, and he said he could see the light, but not the path. My hope is not to tell you what to do, where to go, how to act, but maybe to shine a little light on your path. And let you choose. I think Rev.lyle and I share each week about our own path, our own ways, things that touch us, things we understand to believe to be our truths. And we share our lessons. So I present to you today some ideas, some thoughts, some experiences that have made a difference in my life. And if anything I say hits a chord with you, anything I say with you makes sense, or you like, then I invite you to use it, to claim it as your own. That's okay. And if not, I also hope that that is okay. And maybe something else along the way will hit a chord. Now, the two books that I'm referring to today are actually very involved books. I couldn't possibly do them justice in the time that I have. So I'm just going to pick a couple of things out of each, but it has to do with the creative process. One is Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks from the Teachings of Abraham. And the other is The Dancing Wooly Masters, an overview of new physics by Gary Zukav. Now, Dancing Wooly Masters, it doesn't quite tell you what it's all about. It's an odd name, but it was something he was studying, and it was a Chinese phrase for, basically for physics, for patterns of organic energy. It also means enlightenment. It means many things in the Chinese language. It also means nonsense. So that may be what you get today. Hopefully a little bit the other way. And I refer to the Wooly Masters because it uses the science of today to explain movement of energy. And to me, this helped me understand how things Ernest Holmes talked about actually could work in the physical world. About how the energy of thought could actually create something in the physical. Now, I'm a minister and a metaphysician, but I'm also a bit of a realist. And this study of physics gave me another perspective that really hit a chord with me. So this is something I took on. I own this. The creative process. How do we create? With our thoughts, with our actions. How do we take a thought and project it into the universe and create or attract something that creates an experience in our life. What Mr. Zukov said was that everything is energy. The air we breathe, the trees, the animals that surround us, even our thoughts and ideas are energy. It's all energy. And one thing I recall specifically from his book was an experiment that was conducted in one of the Stanford University labs. And at the time they were studying quarks. Molecules, what we're made of, what everything is made of, are made up of atoms. Atoms have a nucleus surrounded by electrons. And in the nucleus of an atom are protons, neutrons, and those protons and neutrons are made up of quarks. Now, I don't know if you have a picture of when you break down even your own body to that molecular structure and the atom structure and the nucleus and the electrons. You just take the protons and neutrons and the electrons flying around them, which make solid things, and if you bring it up to the size that you can actually see, you could put the nucleus on a baseball diamond and put that baseball there, and that's the nucleus, and the electron would be somewhere outside of the stadium. You could fly a 747 through it. And they're talking about quarks that made up the protons and neutrons within that atom. Amazingly small. So small that they couldn't even see them. The only way they knew they existed by evidence of trails they left in passing. And the thing about the experiment was that they could not see the evidence of the quarks passing unless someone was observing it. Not the machines, not the data equipment, not the scopes or anything else they set up. When someone was observing it, they could see the flash of a quark. And their conclusion was that the activating energy was the person. The thought, the energy, the desire to see movement of that within your very brain and your thoughts and the energy of you that activated. Energy, waveforms, from your thoughts to universal microscopic matter that reacts to you. You are little tiny balls of energy. Your brain has impulses and waves of energy. Your thoughts exist within a field of energy, and that causes a reaction like dropping a pebble in a pond. That is one way. That is how we create. The way of creating is simple. Thoughts create. There is a reaction to your thought which causes something to appear. Change your thinking, change your life. Makes a little sense to me. If you don't like what you're manifesting in your life, change what you're doing and attract different results. The hidden difficulty with this process is that there are subconscious thoughts also. And they're a part of you also. They create too. How do you manage the deeper thoughts that create what you don't want or what you do want? And here I shifted a little bit and I went to the other book, the book of Ask and It Is Given. Now Esther, she speaks, or Abraham speaks through Esther, however that works. But I'm just going to say, Esther says. Esther says. So in this book here, it was easier for me to paraphrase or write it down. I'm just going to read to you some of what she says. This is the science of deliberate creation. We want to assist you in the deliberate realization of things that your environment has inspired within you. For we want you to experience the exhilaration of joyous, conscious creating your own reality. You do create your own reality. No one else does. And you create your own reality even if you do not understand that you do so. For that reason, you often create by default. When you are consciously aware of your own thoughts and you are deliberately offering them, then you are the deliberate creator of your own reality. And that is what you intended when you made the decision to come forth into this body. Your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire to happen or whether you desire to not happen, you are asking. You do not have to use your words. You just have to feel it in your being. I desire this. I adore that. I appreciate this. And so on. The desire is the beginning of all attraction. Now in this book, after this, she also talks about this thing, she calls it 17 seconds away from 68 seconds to fulfillment. Let me explain. I have time. With only a few seconds, maybe only 17 seconds, you should get it. With only a few seconds of focusing your attention on a subject, you activate the vibration of that subject within you. And immediately the law of attraction begins to respond to that activation. The longer you keep your attention focused on something, the easier it becomes for you to continue to focus upon it, because you are attracting, through the law of attraction, other thoughts or vibrations that are the essence of the thought you began with. It accumulates. Within 17 seconds of focusing on something, a matching vibration becomes activated. And now, as that focus becomes stronger and the vibration becomes clearer, the law of attraction will bring to you more thoughts that match. At this point, the vibration will not have much attraction power, but if you maintain your focus longer, the power of the vibration will become farther reaching. And if you manage to stay purely focused upon any thought for as little as 68 seconds, the vibration is powerful enough that manifestation begins. Purely focused for a short period of time. When you repeatedly return to a pure thought, maintaining it for 68 seconds, in a short period of time, that thought becomes a dominant thought. And once you achieve a dominant thought, you will experience matching manifestations until you change it. Remember, the thoughts you think equal your point of attraction. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. I see some head nodding and I see some understanding of what you think about, whether you want it or not, is what you're attracting. What are you thinking about? An easy way to tell is look at your life. what's going on? She spoke of some indicators in that sense. An indicator of how you are doing in this attraction-based universe. And it is your emotions. And it's the emotions of your own personal vibrational frequency. Your emotions indicate your alignment with source energy. The better you feel, the more you are allowing the alignment with those things you desire. Obviously, conversely, if you were not feeling so hot, you were not in a match. You were not in a vibrational match with what you desire. If you are feeling love and joy, you're getting what? Maybe freedom. If you're feeling passion, you're doing your passion maybe in your work or your life, there's a certain power in that. And she lists 20 some items, but it's in a kind of a decreasing mode, because when you get down to anger, and you get down to fear, and you get down to jealousy, if that's your emotion, if that's what you're experiencing, then what you have is something less than power and freedom. You're probably experiencing less control, less choice, less understanding. So when you are consciously aware of where you are and consciously aware of where you want to be, you also have the means of understanding whether you are pointed in the right direction or not. The seeming lack of control we have sometimes is because we do not realize which direction we are even headed. Conscious realization of your own emotions and what they mean can often move you in a chosen direction. Conscious realization of your own emotions can mean you know of what direction you are choosing. I think the key word here is conscious realization, to become aware, to understand, and to know where you're pointed, where you want to be pointed, and your emotions. How are you feeling? How are you doing? And you know how to change your life, change your thinking. Simple, not always easy. So you get to incrementally choose to make a difference. And if you have a choice to choose, choose a direction pointed in the way you want to be. It's up to you. It's not up to me. I share my life lessons. I share things that matter to me, things that have worked for me, things I understand, things that move me. Hopefully, there's a little light on the path to assist you. And all I can say now is, and so the lesson begins. So let me close in prayer. Just close your eyes and relax, sitting right where you are. sitting in the knowledge and the understanding that you are at choice. You make the difference in your own life. Who you are, what you think, how you feel, what you attract. We are all energy. We are all vibrational forces within a huge energy universe. Thoughts we think create a vibrational force which attract more thoughts we think to unify with our oneness, our spiritual oneness, that ultimate reality, that universal divinity that I choose to call God, Spirit, life, love. Take a breath into your own power, knowing you make a difference. Take a breath into your own power, knowing that you are enough. Take a breath into your own power, knowing that you have choice. That you are, in fact, love expressing. That you are, in fact, loved. That you are, in fact, lovable. We are such powerful souls, and sometimes we forget. May we know who we are. May we know what we want. And may we proceed in that direction. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Rev.lyle and Rev.lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.